Sort of theme of Confessions on a Dance Floor really is the theme of having a good time. It's the soundtrack to a party, or it's the soundtrack to driving around in your car, or it's the soundtrack to not overthinking things and living in the moment. That's kind of what it is. And it came about out of necessity for her wanting to do that in her life at that point, and that was the music that I'd been doing as a result of DJing around the world for the sort of 3 years before that.
You know, I never set out to make a dance record. In the beginning, I was just writing music with Stuart for a musical, and then that musical, the script came, and I didn't like it, and Hung Up and I Love New York were the songs we'd written for that script, and I said, okay. Stuart had been taking the dub mixes of Hung Up around to clubs everywhere, because, as you know, he's a DJ as well, and he was getting such an overwhelming response to that song that I decided, you know what, let's make all the songs dance music, and kind of that's how it unfurled.
You know, for me, this album is extra special because it's, you know, it's Madonna kind of returning to her roots. I mean, it's a dance album, you know, she's like the queen of, she's like the dancing queen, if you will. So for me, this is like, you know, it's like a dream, because all the music works really well with choreography and movement and dance and staging, which is what I'm about, and realizing that kind of those kind of things for her, and making sure that her stage looks right and it moves correctly with her and her music.
The whole ABBA sample Hung Up thing was a bit of a sort of happy accident. I mean, like I said, she was working on the soundtrack for this musical that it was going to be at first. And when we were talking about doing the disco section, she said, you know, I kind of want it to be like, you know, ABBA for the future. And at the same time, I'd made this instrumental track up that used that loop from ABBA, just because I was DJing every weekend and I wanted something new to kind of take away and play. So it just happened to be around at the same time. And when she said, I want something like ABBA but set in the future, well, here was this track that I'd already been using in clubs, and I'd seen the kind of response. So it was just, I don't know, sometimes, you know, like I say, happy accidents and coincidence, and things fall into place at the right time, and that track was around at the right time, and I think that's why that became the starting point for the record. That
was Stuart's idea. I never get ideas about samples, because samples cost money. But that said, if you're going to sample something from ABBA, because their music is killer.